Once upon a time in a faraway village, there lived an orphan named Ade. Ade lived with his maternal uncle, Femi, with his wife and two sons Toby and Salami. Salami is the oldest brother and he's also a thug. His father never liked him because of that. He drops out of school because of his bad behavior. His uncle's wife was so unkind and cruel to Ade. She had always treated him badly and sent him on errands day after day. He labored under the scorching sun, tending to his auntie's farm, yet his efforts went unnoticed and unrewarded. His days were filled with nothing but backbreaking work and a meager existence. But, Ade was brilliant, and he always outshined his cousin Toby academically, so, his uncle's wife was very jealous of him being smarter than her son, and she was never happy about it. One day Ade's auntie made a plan with her eldest son, Salami, to get rid of Ade. Salami was the most dreaded and feared hoodlum in the village. Salami would always drink and smoke wherever and whenever he wanted. He would even stoop as low as smoking Indian hemp in front of a policeman, and the police would do nothing, for even they feared his wrath. One day Ade's auntie purposely sent Ade to a faraway forest to fetch firewood. On his way to the forest, Salami waited for Ade. He rough-handled Ade, beat him up, and threw him into the river to drown. People were there watching but couldn't do anything, for they feared that he would beat them up too. Ade cried for help but could not get any from them as the current of the river was too much. Salami successfully drowned Ade and left his body. Ade woke up and found himself in a strange underwater kingdom. He was shocked as he saw the river goddess staring at him and amazed that he was breathing underwater. Out of fear, Ade shouted, "Where am I? Who are you?" The lady smiled and said with a sweet and tender voice, "I'm Aziza, the river goddess." She told Ade to calm down, that he was in her kingdom, and she meant no harm. She told Ade and she explained what happened, how she found him by the riverside and had brought him to her kingdom to make him conscious again. Ade thanked the goddess and told her all that had happened, how he was always maltreated, and how his cousin beat him up and left him to drown in the river. The goddess nodded her head and said that he shouldn't worry anymore because she had a solution to all his problems. She said, "I have been watching you for a very long time, I know all about you, Ade." She narrated that long ago, the kingdom was ruled by Oba Oy, who had two sons, Prince Ade and Prince Sei. Prince Ade was the elder son and was destined to inherit the throne. Prince Sei, however, wanted his brother's status and plotted to overthrow him. During this royal drama, Ade fell in love with a beautiful young woman named Bizi. As Prince Ade and Bizi's romance blossomed, the kingdom was plunged into chaos. Prince Sei orchestrated a plot to oust his brother, framing him for a heinous crime he did not commit. Ade was banished from the kingdom, leaving his love and his life behind. It later came to news that Prince Ade was pronounced dead. Meanwhile, Bizi was pregnant with his child. She gave birth to a baby boy, whom she named after his father, Ade. Bizi died a few days after delivery. Before she died, she told her most trusted friend to take good care of her son. As the child grew, the truth of his royal lineage remained hidden from him. Ade still did not understand why she was telling him that story. "You must be worried about why I'm telling you all this. You are not just an ordinary child," she said. "You are the heir to the throne, you are Prince Ade's son, and your uncle's wife is Bizi's best friend. She hid the truth from you and her husband, out of jealousy and hatred she had for your mother, Bizi." After hearing all that she had said, Ade was shocked. She gave Ade a necklace. She said, "This necklace will bring you good luck wherever you go." Ade thanked her and said, "I will never forget you." The river goddess smiled and immediately, Ade fell unconscious. That night she ushered Ade to the shore. Ade woke up on the shore by the side of the beach, confused and shocked. It was like a dream to him. He did not believe what his eyes had seen. He finally found his way to Lagos. When he got to Lagos, Ade was wandering around trying to figure out where he would settle the little money left with him. He planned to use it to eat, but, unfortunately, the money wasn't enough. A man sitting in the restaurant noticed that Ade was leaving as soon as he just stepped into the restaurant. He called Ade and asked him what happened. Ade told the man that he just arrived from the village and he had nowhere to sleep, and not enough money to eat. The man told Ade that he was the owner of the bar and he offered Ade a job and a place to stay. Favor had begun to locate Ade since he started working for the man. The man showed him love and everything about the job. Ade worked for the man for years. Ade was very good at his job. The man later introduced Ade to his friend, Mr. Joseph, who was looking for manager. While he was working for the man, Ade was furthering his education at the University of Lagos. Ade graduated with a first class in business management. Now life has started to work for Ade pretty well. Ade started managing Mr. Joseph's bar on the island. A very popular bar, where the rich and famous come to spend their money. One day when Ade was in the bar, a beautiful and classy lady walked in and ordered a drink. She was shining like a morning star, that Ade could not take his eyes off. After a while, the lady stood up and Ade discovered that she had forgotten her purse. Ade immediately ran after her. When Ade caught up with her, he gave her back her purse. The lady smiled and thanked Ade. She was so surprised that someone in Lagos could return a forgotten item. Eventually, the lady gave Ade her card and told him to call her. Surprisingly, she is the only daughter of a business mogul, who is the owner of a major oil and gas company in Africa, Dr. Raymond K. A very influential figure in the nation. She said, "I am Amaju K," and Ade proceeded ahead to introduce himself, "I am Adebayo, but you can call me Ade." She smiled, and Ade remembered the river goddess. Ade said, "You remind me of someone." And she said, "Your ex-girlfriend, right?" Ade replied, "No, you remind me of a goddess I once met." She was flattered. "Really," she said. They both laughed, and immediately they connected. She was so excited and fun of Ade. With a soft voice, she said, "I think I like you. Thank you for bringing my purse, I have some valuables in this purse." Ade said, "You are welcome." And she said, "You are so fluent in the way you speak. What is your discipline?" Then Ade said, "I have a first class in business management." She smiled and said to Ade, "Come and work with me in my company, we need someone like you." She entered her car and drove out. Ade was so happy about the job offer. So, the next day, Ade decided to visit her, in her office. She was so happy to see Ade. Then Ade playfully said, "I have my CV with me." She took a look at it, and immediately Ade was employed as her assistant. Ade would go anywhere and everywhere with her. They will even travel together, to sign a multi-million-dollar contract. Gradually they became very close to each other, they were like two love birds. Ade was very caring. She was so happy to have Ade in her life. Ade will massage her feet, and even prepare breakfast for her. At this point, he was everything to her. Ade was promoted to the regional manager, in charge of the whole of West Africa. He became wealthy and powerful. One night when they were sleeping, Ade woke up with fear, shouting, "I will go, I will go." Amaju woke up and asked, "Babe, what happened, why are you shouting?" Ade was still shivering. Amaju said, "Calm down and talk to me." Then Ade said, "I had a dream, that I was in a kingdom underwater, wandering around. Then a lady appeared to me, she was very angry. There is fire coming out of her eyes, asking me to go back to my village." Then Amaju asked, "When was the last time you went to the village?" Then Ade took a deep breath and narrated all that had happened to him in the past. She was so surprised by his story. Meanwhile, back in the village, there was a rumor that the king had died mysteriously, and he was without an heir to the throne. So the elders and villages moved to the priestess of the village, who is the custodian of the gods, to ask what is the way forward. The priestess said to them, "Don't worry, the gods are not sleeping, Aziza will never fail us." She went ahead and consulted the gods. After a couple of hours, there was a storm and she smiled and said, "The one that will carry the stuff of power and fire, the heir to the throne is here." A convoy was seen entering the village. Children were running around the convoys. They have never seen those kind of cars before. The cars arrived at Mr. Femi's compound. Mr. Femi was surprised to see such a car in his compound. Ade came out and greeted him. He said, "Who are you?" Ade said, "I am Ade, your son." His uncle was shocked. He shouted, "Ade, my son, they said you are dead. I went to the river to search for you day and night. But I could not find your body. So I prayed and made a sacrifice to Aziza, a river goddess, to bring you back to me. I never thought I would see you with these eyes again." They both cried. Then Ade asked for Toby and Salami. His uncle replied Toby had gone to the east to work for my friend Alabi, who is a traitor. While Salami was arrested for beating his mother to death, over some money she owed him. Meanwhile, the money was the money she promised him to get rid of Ade. Salami later confesses to the crime. Ade was not surprised. Kalmar had played his part. At once, the priestess arrived and called Ade 3 times. "Adebayo, the son of Prince Ade Oy, the heir to the throne, is your turn to carry the stuff of fire and lead your people to greatness." On hearing this, his uncle was shocked that his sister Bizi did not fail him. He was very happy. Ade said to his uncle, "We have a lot to talk about." They followed the priestess to perform the necessary sacrifices, ahead of his coronation. On the day of the coronation, the village was filled up with so much dignitaries, the high and influential people. From president to governors, they are all there to experience these historical events. Ade was finally crowned king. And he was given the stuff of fire. Amaju also carried the stuff of fire as the queen, and they both ruled the kingdom in peace. The main lesson of this story is never to do evil to anyone, because it will fall back to you, and destroy you.
Thank you for visiting this channel. If you enjoy this story, please like and subscribe.